All right. Okay. Yeah, so Murat has been working really hard on getting all of the changes that I keep adding and from all the testing that I'm doing and others and putting it into the Notion board. I can show you what that looks like here. Um, so the Notion board is basically here, and yeah, we've been uh, got through a whole bunch of stuff over the last week. The site's coming along really well. The app, basically, there's a couple of things we're testing out with different backgrounds and such. So every time you refresh, there's a different background. But from other people that I had testing it, the the advice came back that we have a single picture here, and and then when we go into a smart vault, each smart vault would have its own picture because they found it confusing when you went into this vault and then went back into the vault. There was a different image every time, uh,
Sense.
and that confused them. So because they didn't know whether they were in the same vault or not. Um, but yeah, everything's working quite well. Um, We have, yeah, all the deposit withdrawal. I tested with QR code without. Now I tested it also by adding SUSD6 in, and yeah, all these numbers check out. There's a couple of little quirky things that still don't happen, but what I want to do is get the community to start testing, either like sort of tomorrow, I think we'll release it for them to click around and try to break it and see what they can add. Um, what I might do is create a second Notion page for the public to add to, um, or maybe it should just be a questionnaire that they fill out. Like maybe that's better. I'll think about it, but nevertheless, it'll be where they can report either design or bugs or something like that, and uh, and give Murat some feedback. Murat, did you have something to say about about it?
No, thank you. Like it was very well. So this is what we have. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Cool. Um, yeah. So there's um there's a bunch of little things. Some of the stuff that isn't set up yet, that isn't coming through is like the collateral and stuff. We are back on the Sepolia network, just because we wanted to test something. I've forgotten. Oh yeah, that's right. We wanted to test why the NFTs weren't showing up in here. Um, and yeah, so that's basically something that wanted to figure out between Ewan and Murat. Um, Ewan, one question I had with the NFTs, when you create a vault, are they assigned to your wallet or are they assigned to the smart contract that's running this?
The NFT belongs to the wallet that created the mint transaction to create the smart vault.
Okay,
Um, and that same wallet is also the owner of the smart vault smart contract.
okay, cool. So um, we should be able to then every time we create a vault, it add uh, the address and the token ID automatically to MetaMask so that we can see or to people's wallets so that people can see their NFTs in here as well, right?
Yeah,
That should be
that should be
achievable.
fine.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So that was just something that was we're pondering about. Yeah. The other thing that I think is really, really important when people create a mint some debt to themselves, is another step to be able to like actually use that S euro in liquidity staking. So we had a really great meeting with Camelot, and I can let George come up and give you a roundup of what that was about. But basically, yeah, George, why don't you come up and talk about the Camelot partnership?
Yeah, so we had a discussion with those guys at Camelot. It's well, one of the largest dexes on Arbitrum. And the topics were basically how we can, I guess, promote as well as like marketing side, but also how we can incentivize as well in regards to um, liquidity, and we have to go back with some numbers to those guys with regards to what we're expecting, liquidity in the vaults as well as on Camelot, the TVL. And we need to go back to them also with a sort of APY based on certain pairings. So we're looking at S Euro and USDC as the pair, and also the potential TST Grail potentially. That's still to be discussed. And yeah, so we're going back to them this week. There is a question, I guess, for the community in regards to incentivizing borrowing on those smart vaults, which Thorix will be putting out in the general chat of Discord. Whether we should scrap the burning fees and minting fees just to incentivize borrowing for the first month or two. So that question will go out to the general chat as well as a side note. But yeah, that's the gist of it at the moment with Camelot.
Yeah, when we say scrap, I mean set to zero. And
Yeah.
and yeah, so for what I want to look at as well is they've got, I don't know if you guys can see this, but it's basically the V2 and V3 similar as Uniswap. The reason why we've gone with Camelot is that they're really keen to partner and build liquidity up. They're the biggest DEX on Arbitrum, so they've got plenty of liquidity and really cool guys as well. So what would be interesting to see if we can get like whether we go with bonding or what. I need to talk with you, Ewan, separately about this, but uh, I'm still trying to figure out what the best way to go, and I think that some of that will come back from the roll up guys that are helping advise us on this, as well as the guys at Camelot to tell us what um, uh, the best incentives would be to gain the deepest liquidity as fast as possible. Um, so V3 would be used for the S euro for the stablecoin, which we would pair with another stablecoin, because you can stack liquidity in a pretty tight range. And V2 would be used for TST, deeper liquidity for TST with, like George said, with their native token Grail. The good thing is the routers on like MetaMask, if you go to swap using MetaMask, it'll find this. If you're logged into Arbitrum, it'll find the pool. So let's say you want to swap TST for USDC, even though we're focusing all our liquidity TST Grail, it doesn't matter because the routers will jump from Grail to USDC. So it'll be an extra hop. But I think I think they'll be keen to have a Grail pair because it means more use cases for Grail and more liquidity for Grail. But I'm not even sure if that's the best thing. Maybe it's best to just have the pair to be with USDC. It might be better for our users because they can definitely add that pair rather than going and getting Grail. a lot of them would have USDC already, so they can build a add liquidity in with that. So there's so many things to think about and discuss. And for all the community members that are listening to this, I'd love your feedback. What have you seen with projects that are launching? What's the latest thing that you've seen that's worked to incentivize the community to add liquidity to the pairs? Um, and yeah, just love your feedback. All right, so I'll hand it yeah over to anyone else that wants to say something, Philip or Anna. No, Ewan, what's on your?
Sorry,
So,
I can't talk very well.
Oh, that's okay. All right, we'll just hand it over to Philip. To Ewan.
last week I sort of the solidity scans and got a report from them, and so because it's all automatically done, some of the things that are flagged are kind of totally off, and then some things are really helpful. So I'm working through all the things that are highlighted by their report.
Okay.
It's mainly sort of making nice gas optimizations, making everything a bit cheaper and a bit smaller, the contract.
Awesome.
So I'm slowly working through those. They flagged some things that are deemed sort of critical issues, but are actually like completely, like necessary to how our contracts work. It's just, when because they scan sort of each contract in isolation, they don't realize how your contracts are kind of communicating with each other, and so that I think you can sort of append your own comments to the reports.
Okay.
So basically, once I finish dealing with all the issues that I can do, I'm gonna get do a rescan, get the report sort of properly prepared as they do, and then we can see what it looks like.
Awesome.
Other than that, I am just going through a lot of pre-launch last to do. So there's a couple more small applications that work sort of alongside the contracts that either need to be deployed or completed. Like around like the pricing API for those charts and
Yeah.
like sort of a liquidator prawn application. So yeah, also working on those this week, and that's kind of it.
Okay. Awesome. And yeah, with in terms of in terms of the network that we should be testing on, do you think we should go straight over to Arbitrum, Gurley, or should we stick with Sepolia?
I think having both for testing is probably good because we're launching on both Ethereum and Arbitrum. I feel like it could be worth. It's probably going to be worth redeploying the test contract anyway once I've finished doing these issues, just because we want to make sure that we're testing the updated codes and make sure I haven't introduced any bugs by sort of doing these solidity scan suggestions. So probably I will redeploy later today or tomorrow morning, depending on how long it takes to finish those things. And then, yeah, I think just carry on testing on both of them. I'll currently, I think we also have contracts deployed on Mumbai, but I don't know if we need that if we're not going to launch on Polygon anymore. So yeah,
don't worry
I'll
about it.
relaunch on Arbitrum and I'll redeploy to Arbitrum, Gurley and Sepolia. Yeah, later today or tomorrow.
All right, awesome. Murat, that I remember you saying last week that we still haven't got it so that it can switch networks in the front end. Is that something that you feel is too difficult to get done by like tomorrow, or do you think we could so that users can switch between Arbitrum and Sepolia, or do you think we should? Because if it is, it's fine. We can just test on one of them, and just choose the one that we want to test on.
Um, Let me try doing that today and get back to you during the evening. Is it okay for you?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Because
Absolutely.
I'm not sure what will happen in the process. I don't remember how I was doing it and so on. So
Yeah.
I will check it out in the following hours and let you know.
Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, if we can do switching, what I'd love to do is, that little logo that we put in there that's powered, like connected to Arbitrum or something, whatever it says. If that switches to whatever network, I can give you the other logo so that we can, so that it's just not confusing.
Yeah,
Or we
sure.
just,
Like,
commented it out for now. And people know what network
so
they're connected through MetaMask.
we do between Arbitrum Girly and Sepolia.
Yeah, they would be the three, yeah, just for testing. But I mean, if it's even too hard for that, we could just go with Sepolia and Arbitrum.
No, I didn't say Arbitrum and Girly differently. Arbitrum Girly, like
Yeah,
testnet.
Arbitrum Girly. Yep, yep.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, have a look and get back to us. That would be good. Yeah, you and I'd love to have a chat with you and Murat also about the ideas. I'm still sort of collating the ideas in terms of what we allow through the interface for the users to do, and what the easiest way is. I wouldn't mind, um, Xanatas, your feedback as well on that, basically, because maybe there's a workaround for the launch day, so we don't have to like frantically run around getting everything fixed now. But maybe it's easy to implement, uh, putting liquidity in. If it's not, we can just link to it. But yeah, I'll set up a separate meeting for that.
Okay.
Awesome. George, was there anything anything else from your end?
A couple of little things. Feel free to check out, guys, the Patrick Friedman interview that I posted on the Standard YouTube channel, which is a great interview as well, libertarian and also an advisor to us. And this week I'll be posting a newsletter just with updates. A lot of it was discussed here, but some other stuff as well. And finally, we also had some conversations with Honey Finance and Gumball. Both of those projects are on Arbitrum for potential partnership and collaboration marketing-wise, but also Gumball's an NFT marketplace on Arbitrum, so we'll probably partner with them in regards to the NFT. As you know, selling the smart vaults as NFTs. We could partner with those guys, so we're having discussions at the moment. So yeah, stay tuned.
Yeah, what's interesting there, they do this thing where you can tie two NFTs together and then sell. So you can use it as collateral on their platform. So it'd be yeah, it's just interesting use cases start to arise where you can take an NFT of a collateralized debt position from the standard and use it to collateralize another debt position. So I don't know if it's getting totally degenerate, but it's fascinating nonetheless, and all of the uh, the things should be in play anyway. So if it gets liquidated, then that NFT would lose value and it would liquidate the second one. So because it's all automated, I don't think it would cause any problems, systemic problems. It would just be a lot more to keep hold of for the users trying to do stuff like that. Yeah, excellent. Thorex is doing well as well. I think community-wise, we just want to make sure that people get this stuff out there. They also should be notified that we want to do testing. I do want to get some sort of basic form that they can fill out and test. I want to try to, the only thing I want to give the users is the understanding of how to get test coins, so they can test things. Maybe I can mint a whole bunch of USD6 or something like that and just give them over to you, Thorex, and then you could dish them out to people that are wanting to test. And we also try to mint as much girly ETH for Arbitrum or Sepolia ETH, and also be able to send that, or at least tell people how to get their own. I think that's probably the best way to go, actually. Yeah. So yeah, we mint some USD6 because that's all a bit annoying going to the contract and minting. But we can send that to people, and or just tell them how to get their own girly ETH or Sepolia ETH. Excellent. Thorex, I'll give you that information a little bit more succinct, and we'll go from there. Anna, Philip, or anyone else got any other comments, questions?
No.
Okay. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Have a good one.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Papa.